Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. And in this episode, we will be diving into an open source world and we will be covering how you can crack GSoC. We have Pranav Prajapati with us, who has recently completed his GSoC journey. And today he will be sharing how you can crack GSoC. Hi Pranav.
Um, Hey, hello Anurag. How's it going?
Yeah, everything is good. So
Fine from my side too.
GSoC का हैंगओवर उतर गया.
Yeah, I mean, just completed GSoC in the previous one, and yeah, I'm now searching for opportunities and trying to improve uh, my knowledge. Cause tech is about learning continuously. So yes.
Yes, like we can't stop if we completed one milestone. We have to grow continuously.
Yeah, so looking for my next milestone.
Okay, so we will go from basics to like step by step what like how anyone can approach to this program. So before going into about how you can like get into that, first for the beginners, what is GSOC? Like in simple words. Everyone knows, but still in simple words.
Uh, GSoC is Google Summer of Code. It is a program that is hosted by Google during the month of April, June, July, and August. So it's a 3 month program, but yes, it depends on you whether you want to do this for 3 months or you want to work on a small project which is 2 or 3 weeks short. So, Google Summer of Code is program where open source organizations, famous open source organizations like the Linux Foundation, TensorFlow, and Fossicia, and many other open source organizations apply. And once these organizations are selected for GSoC, contributors like me can apply in those organizations to work on a specific project during the summer. And Google pays a stipend to all these contributors based on their project length and their work. So this is Google Summer of Code. It's completely working on open source software for 3 months or respective time, and contributing to open source for those 3 months, being with the tag of Google. And yes,
Yeah. Like is there any eligibility like only college students can apply?
previously I think there was some kind of eligibility that you need to be a student or something like that. But now working professionals can also apply for GSOC, and you should be above 18 years of age to apply to GSOC, because that's the guideline which GSOC follows. And other things are like you should be compatible working in US. That's something everyone compiles for, and many few people are those that don't match this eligibility criteria. There's no such hard restriction. Anyone who's interested can approach Google Summer of Code as an opportunity.
So like now you are in which year? Second, third year?
Yeah, I mean, I just completed the in semester exams of my third year, and yes, now I'm in my third year. I mean, I
Oh,
just started my third year
that
right now.
means you have cracked the GSOC in second year.
Yeah,
What
that's
students have dreamed to crack GSOC in their early stage of the career that
yes.
you have achieved?
I dreamed of doing this in my first year, but hopefully things didn't work out. So yes, second year I made.
So which organization you have applied for now? Like,
Yeah, so in GSOC there are many organizations based on your tech stack or based on your interest of development. So folks from web apply to web related organizations. But for me, this was not the case. I was interested in machine learning and deep learning stuff. So the organization in which I applied to was SK Time, which provides a unified interface for time series tasks such as classification, annotation, and forecasting, and many other tasks. So this is an organization that has the same API such as scikit-learn. So folks who have been familiar with scikit-learn may know about the scikit-learn API. So skTime is something similar to that, but particular to time series and time series forecasting, which is a part of machine learning and deep learning. So I applied to this organization, and yeah, I got.
Okay, so like you were focused, like from starting you were focused for in machine learning domain.
Yes, you're
Have
right.
you tried any other domain, web development, Android?
Yes, in the beginning, I was interested in developing websites, and I have many websites, small websites, not that good. At that time, I think, like when I was starting, at that time, these websites were hard to make. But now, due to power of Chat GPT and AI, I think anyone can replicate the work which I did without Chat GPT or something like that. So I just shifted from web development to machine learning, and that's the field that interests me because in web there are lots of things like lots of components, or you can say many technologies. Like every day a new npm package is published. I don't know, but yes, there's this popular joke, and web development didn't excite me that much. Still, it's a necessary part of development. But yeah, I consider machine learning as my domain, and the domain in which I have expertise. And
So how long you were like learning machine learning, from how long?
uh, I will say I started learning machine learning from 2021 during August. Yes, this was the time I started learning Python. If I say specific to machine learning, then you can say mid 2022 was the time when I was training on California housing dataset and doing classification between cats and dogs. So throwback to 2 years, uh, I decided that I want to pursue machine learning as a domain in tech.
Okay. So before, like, we will now dive into GSoC, but just for college students, why this is a great opportunity as a student? Just can you just share any insights so they will get some motivation, more motivation to contribute?
Okay, so for college students, this is a very respected program to get into, and if you get into GSoC during your college, you're someone who is respected in the community. Or so you might have seen many tech influencers telling that GSoC Karlo or GSoC is a program you should think about. Talking about other thing is that GSoC is favorable for student is because the name of Google is associated with it, and you get a good stipend in your student. While being a student, you get a good amount of stipend, which was also a motivation for me, to be honest. And the other thing will be that you get to work with professionals in that field. So the things which I learned in which I would have learned in 1 year, I was pushed to learn those things in 3 months of time during GSoC. So you get to work in a professional setup where you have this agile dashboard or things like that, which you have just studied in books. You get to implement this all methodologies, that is waterfall or agile, like Kanban boards. I don't know how to spell that. It's Kanban boards or something like that.
Kanban.
Kanban, yeah. And then yes, GitHub projects. So these are like things that I've just heard, that raising a Jira ticket or something like that. during GSoC, I actually got familiar with this methodologies too. Daily stand-ups and weekly meetings, all this professional setup was something which I experienced during my GSoC time. So yes, that is something you get to experience while being a student. And Google Summer of Code is flexible with your timings. I mean, my organization and most of the organizations are flexible with timings. If you're working in a corporate or in the private entities setup, they want you to be available during a period of 9 to 5 or something like that. So that's not favorable for a student, because
Mhm.
that's the time when most of the students are in the university, so they won't be available to give that time commitment. So that basically gives another advantage to this program, that you have flexible working hours and you can work anytime. Like, I remember that there were weeks when I didn't code it for the whole week due to my college assignment and other things. I just used to sit Saturday and Sunday and used to like complete all the work for the whole week. It's not a good practice, but there were weeks like this too, like 1 or 2
We have to
weeks.
manage both things, multiple things.
Yes. Yes.
So what kind of candidates they typically look for? Is there any specific need?
Okay, so the candidates which organization will select are the candidates that are along with the organization from the past. So it's not like this that a organization came into GSoC, so you're interested in contributing to that organization. You should show your interest prior to GSoC or Google Summer of Code. So suppose Google Summer of Code is announced during February, but you should be active in those organizations from the month of August, September, October, in the timeline. So the people who are going to select you for Google Summer of Code actually know, yeah, this guy is really active, and we have faith on him, that he is active on our Slack, on our Discord, or in the mailing list, and he is continuously contributing to our project. So we believe that he would work well during the summer too, and that is an ideal candidate that will get selected to Google Summer of Code. This may be different for some organizations, because some organizations actually take a test or something like interview, and then they select an ideal candidate. Because I think CERN is Center for Energy Physics, and that organization actually takes candidates based on test, because they don't have any project or anything like that in which folks could contribute during the whole year. So yes, that depends on your organization. But my answer will be, most of the organization look for a candidate who is along with the organization from prior to GSoC and has
So
been contributing to open source extensively. So not that project, but if you're contributing to other project too, um, that increases your chances to get selected in Google Summer.
okay, so now like I will little bit go into just basic level, because like curious. I am also very curious about Kudo. So if I'm beginner, I want to like get into GSOC. So first, how I will find like how I can find organization who are participating in GSOC.
Okay, so there's this site called, let me search, GSOCorganizations.dev. So on this site, you actually get the list of organizations that
Can you
have
share
been.
like we can share also like if you want.
Okay, I'll try to present that. Yeah, that will be a
That
good
will
idea.
be very interactive.
Just a second. Mm, Let's see. Is my screen visible? Can you take me on stage?
A
My
second.
screen on stage?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the website, which is open source. So over here, you can see organizations that frequently appear for GSoC. There is this Arduino uh, organization too, uh, and all these organizations. Now over here are filters like first-time organization. So the organizations that are coming for GSoC first time, like in the year 2024, this will also be visible for guys who are targeting to be part of GSoC program at the time of 2025. This will be updated at that time.
Mhm.
Now there is no application or anything for GSoC. It will start during the month of February. Uh, by the time I can also see that in which organization like came for all these 3 years. So this, if this organization that is 50 to now is like coming from the past 10 years or 9 years, this will actually increase its chance of like coming in the next year too. So choose organizations that are consistently coming to Google Summer of Code. So what happens is, um, it won't happen that you are contributing to an organization and it doesn't come to GSoC. Although there's a catch in this, your contributions won't go in vain even if the organization doesn't come to GSoC. Like if I'm contributing to suppose this organization and it doesn't appear for GSoC next year, I can show the contributions in this organization to any other organization which uses a similar tech stack as a proof of my work. So the proof of your work won't fade. But yes, if you really want to get into this program, you need to think about these things too. And yes, if like as I am more into machine learning, I will do this. I can use these filters to filter out. If I go in machine learning, then yeah, these are the organizations. I can show my organization too.
Similar organization means like which are in same domain and working on
Yes,
same technology.
yes, in the same domain. So you can see my organization came in uh, 2022. Then it directly came into 2024. Over here, you can see my name should be also present. I didn't know it's over there. But yes, five of the people were selected through my organization.
So like we should mostly avoid uh, organizations which are which are arriving first time.
No, again, there's a catch that organizations that are going to come first time uh, won't be known by anyone. So maybe if you're interested in that, you should take your chance and contribute to that organization too. It completely depends on your hard work and the amount of time you put in contributing to this organization. Because if an organization comes first time, what will
Mhm.
happen is no one might be aware that this organization is going to come to GSoC. And when it appears on the GSoC page that this organization is coming first time to Google Summer of Code, folks will go and try to contribute over there, and just they may get selected. But you should be aware that new organizations get less slots as compared to older ones. So if you
Slots
look
in the sense.
slots in the sense, you can look that my organization only got 3 slots from Google the last
Slots
year.
means for candidates, choosing candidates.
Yes, yes, like 3 candidates were only selected,
Okay.
3 and 5. But if you go to something like, let me refresh this page.
So is this official website or
No, this is just created by made by Nishan. I don't know, but Yeah.
Okay,
Why
what?
does let me clear cache and refresh?
So we can't see this organization on official website of GSoC.
No, this is something. Just let me. I think now. Yes. So if you see an organization that is coming from somewhat 10 years, the number of selected projects will also be greater. Like 3, 2. I don't know why these guys are getting like, yes, you can see 5, and constantly they are getting good number of projects selected. Let's have a look at other organizations too. Suppose TensorFlow. You can see that TensorFlow had a 17, 17, 22, which is a big number of projects that are being selected. So yes,
So the slots
organization,
are for all these projects, or there are like slots for different projects.
different projects are like people work on different projects. People come with their own project too, or some people just select projects that were provided by the organization. So organizations also display what kind of project they want to be worked on during Google Summer of Code. So you can pick a project from that too, or you can come up with your own idea that I want to implement this new feature during this period of Google Summer of Code. So yes, that basically depends on your organization.
There,
Okay.
as you said, like there are slots where like the count of candidates are getting selected. The SK
Yes.
time was having 3 slots. The slots are depending for overall project organization or for each project.
For overall organization, you can
Okay,
see
okay.
number of projects. So there can be a scenario where 3 people get selected for one project only, and there can be a scenario where 3 people get selected for 3 different projects. But at the end, 3 people are only going to get selected if there is 3 slot for the organization.
So now, if I had like selected some organization, for example, TensorFlow or any other, after that, what steps I should take?
Okay, so for me, over here you can see mailing list, communication channel, and stuff like this. So I don't know, but most of the organizations have community call or something like this every month. So for Keras, I used to join their community call every every last week of month, every Friday of last week of the month, and there I just used to listen what the folks at Keras are trying to build, and if there was something I could help them with, I will just mention that in the mailing list or in the chat that I want to work on this feature, and I will get that assigned uh, from the maintainers of Keras. Then I will start working on this. But for someone who is a beginner, should actually first try to fix or maintain a trust that yes, I am consistent. I can consistently contribute to the project. Even if you're making small changes to the project, make sure you're consistently doing contributions in the same project or many projects that are open source, so that will maintain that will build the trust between the maintainer and you. So there are these good first issues, or most of the organizations have good first issues present, so you can use and try to fix them to actually get recognition in the community.
So like it means we have to start early, like 6 months early, 8 months, or like how much time we should.
This, I will say, this will be the myth that starting early helps. Yes, it helps, but there might be scenarios that you will be good with your luck or your skills that you get. But if you're completely focused that I want to do GSOC, then yes, start early. It's actually gonna help you. For me, I also started contributing early to Keras because that's the organization which I wanted to get selected in. But Keras didn't appear this year for Google Summer of Code. So I have to switch to SK Time. But the catch is I was also contributing to SK Time in the year of 2022. So those guys actually knew me that this guy is an old contributor and he's been with the organization for 2 years and somewhat like that. So uh, be active in the chat or any Slack or Discord. Even if you just ask a small question that builds your presence in the organization. Uh, Contributing means it's not always contributing through codes. You can contribute to the organization by asking questions too, because there might be a question which 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 will make many people will have the same question, but if you ask that question, it will contribute for the other people too. So you can ask questions, you can ask or you can answer questions, or you can just attend the community calls or meetings of the organization. That also counts as a contribution to open.
So, is there what type of contributions they like accept? Technical, non-technical? What they allow non-technical contributions?
Anything but a worthy
No, I'm just
contribution.
asking for the GSOC part. Like they,
Yes, I'm trying to explain it from the point of GSOC that anything but a worthy contribution. So
like no,
what a
I'm just
worthy
talking about during the GSOC period. There's only a technical part, like just coding contributions, or like there are also contribution which are non-technical.
documentation or something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
for documentation, there is a different program that is Google Summer of Docs, but that is a very niche program, and I don't know how many people actually get selected, or I don't have idea. I just know that this program exists. There's not that level of awareness for the program, but during Google Summer of Code, there are some projects that are truly research oriented. So there might be no coding or very less coding during that period because you spend your time researching on different approach or how to solve your problem or something like that. But there might be uh, a scenario where you're contributing through code every day or every week. You write huge number of codes and push that to the main branch. And yes, there might be a scenario where you're just creating example notebooks of how to use that particular library. So I would like to tell this that few of the folks I know have just created example notebooks on how to use TensorFlow Lite, how to use TensorFlow for good scenarios like uh, good scenarios like X-ray, classification of cancer through X-rays or something like that. And they have done this during the GSOC period. So they have not actually contributed to that organization,
Mhm.
but by making example notebooks that actually show how you can use that package to leverage, how you can leverage that package to solve such problems also counts up as a contribution to that uh, organization. So there are different ways by which you can you can contribute by making tutorials or something like that too.
Okay. So now I have selected organization and I started contributing to their projects. Okay. So now GSOC announces organizations and they are accepting proposals. So let's talk about how to create proposals, what we should add in the proposal, what we should not add in the proposal, and what are some like tips. So because of that, we can stand out
Okay.
in the proposals.
So during the timeline of GSOC, there is this time where you get your proposal reviewed by your organization admins.
So
So
like
for
just a
me,
second. Like, can you share your proposal?
okay. So below are my credentials, which I won't show. Credentials in the sense, just my email and phone number. So I don't want that to be shown on a live stream. But you can see a project proposal which mentions the project title. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Then project type large. So there are different types of project like large, medium, small. Then you have to mention your mentors. Then you have to do a
Project type
synopsis.
means they mention project type is small, medium.
No. It depends on you. What kind of project you want to choose. You can take many small projects and make a proposal of a large project. Completely depends on you. So then you have to do a synopsis that what you are going to do, what you want to do during the summer, and then make a list of deliverables that you are going to deliver during the whole project. Then you have to mention the timeline that from 1st May to 26th May, I'm going to do this work. In week 1, I'm going to do this work thoroughly in detail. So the selectors actually know that you know what you are going to work on during the whole summer. And if there's a break or something like that, like during this week I was traveling in Goa, so I just mentioned that I won't be available, like I may be traveling this week due to my personal commitments. So you have to mention your blockers or something like that too in the proposal. And then continue that this continues till the 12 months. You have to keep some extra weeks also, so you don't know where you can get stuck and time will pass by. So you have to keep extra months for this. Like I was traveling for 1 week, so maybe I have to work for an extra week on the same project. So create a good timeline and then just mention benefits to the community. So what my project, how my project will benefit the community, mention that. Then comes the background that hello, I am this and that. I will do this. Then why I'm the right person to work on the project. Previous contributions to open source. So this actually helps. So I had tons of contributions in open source, which I mentioned them all. And previous contributions to SK time, particular to the organization. So previous contributions to open source was something like I contributed to MindsDB, I contributed to Keras, I contributed to PyTorch. So I mentioned them all, but contributions specific to SK time were mentioned over here. Then courses I have taken, like I took some Coursera courses, so I mentioned that too. Then all my socials and yes, all my socials, and this is an ideal proposal. This is a selected proposal of GSoC.
So like if you talk about the first page, like if you go to the first page about issues, synopsis. So these are like the issues you have figure it out, or they main like they
We
list the
have to.
issues.
Uh, they just gave this problem project title and mention that how this project will look like. After that, you have to figure out what all things you could do to complete this project title and write this all on your own.
So like is there's they mention the problem statement, and we have create a solution oriented synopsis for that.
Yes, yes, that's correct.
Okay. So in the synopsis, like firstly we have to mention what issue or the problem statement we will be working on. What is our solution? That's right.
Yes, the idea behind this project is to integrate pretty technical, but yes, you have to mention what's the idea behind this project and how you're going to approach that problem.
Okay. Then after that we have okay, in deliverables we have to
Just
what we will be.
mention in short that what we are going to deliver during this summer or during the coding period.
So like the title that is a main problem statement, and these are what you will be like working on,
Yes.
like small
If you see
small
this,
modules.
yes, this is like scaling backends and foundation models. So this
Okay.
doesn't mention that which kind of foundation models or what
Mhm.
kind of backends. So you have to figure it out on your own, or you don't have to actually figure this out on your own. You can just reach the organization admins or the mentors that, hey, this is the project I'm interested in. I want to contribute to. Can you elaborate? So they might have answer to your uh, question that we want this work to be done under this project, and then you will get a pretty fair idea that what you need to work on during this.
Okay. There is a time where maintainers, I guess, or reviewers checks our proposals. So what is that?
Yeah, I mean, there is a time of proposal review period where we have to just wait. I mean, our organization takes all the proposals and they rank it on the basis of uh, how good a proposal was. So if a proposal is best, it will be ranked first. If a proposal is better, it will be ranked second. If a proposal is good, it will be ranked third, and respectively. So once they have ranked this all proposals which they get, they send this to Google, and Google once again goes through all these proposals. And if Google thinks that no, we need to only select the best and better, not the good one, that completely depends on your luck and Google. So they will just select the first two proposals in the ranking, or they may select the all three proposals in the rank. That totally depends on your organization and Google.
So after selecting the proposal, is that final step, or there's another interview round or
No,
any?
once your proposal is selected, there is community bonding period where you just onboard and get to know about your mentors, talk with your colleagues, talk with the people in the community. They just set the pace for your work once
So
your
during like
proposal.
before selecting the proposal, they like they took like they take interviews of some selected candidates or not?
Yes, if they are not sure or if
Mhm.
they just want to see uh, or take a behavioral interview of a person, they may do that. They may take a test. They may also assign you a task that if you complete this task, you're in for GSoC. So that depends on organization again.
So like so the interview is based on the like
Oh,
problem statement on which we will be working on, or like just a general interview to get to know how is the person.
no, I mean, for me or for my organization, the interview was about basic data science questions and Python. So, pretty good interview. First, they asked me about one of the work which I mentioned in my proposal. So, in my proposal, there was a pull request which I made in Keras. So, they asked me questions around that. So, if someone is faking their work, they will get caught in this. But yes, I did that work, so I answered all of them correctly. Later, I was asked the formula for median, which I fumbled a little bit because I don't know, but the formula which was taught to me in college was a bit different in terms. I don't know if you send a variable this side or that side, or I might be wrong in that case too. But I just messed that up that I didn't know the formula for a median. Then yes, I was asked to explain SVMs too, that is support vector machine. So I had this board right behind me where I tried to explain them SVMs. Then they asked me some loss functions and stuff like that for SVMs, which I again failed. Later, I was asked about loss function of linear regression, which I didn't, which I didn't failed hopefully and correctly answered how linear regression works, what is gradient descent, and stuff like that. I was not prepared for core machine learning questions, even though I knew them. I was not prepared for that. What I thought was they will ask advanced Python, something like lambda functions or uh, list comprehensions or something like that in Python. But they came up with some good questions in machine learning, and I got stuck with that. But you see, my contributions and my proof of work actually helped. So I was selected.
Okay, like you have started contributing to Keras, MindsDB. So if any beginner who had just started 2 months before on that specific organization, so like there's a chance to get selected for that candidate.
I won't assure, but the work that you put in for the 2 months will actually help you in the future. But yes, that completely depends on the organization and the person. If you make a very good PR, something that would have been done in the GSoC period, you do it in the past few 2 months, then yeah, you're getting selected. Congratulations.
Okay. So now, like, we have find the organization, we started contributing, we create a proposal, we get selected to GSoC. Now what? Like, the contribution period starts. So how that goes? Like, there's, as you said, you have talked about the models,
Timeline.
agile
Yes.
models and all. So like,
Yes, no. I mean, you have set the timeline. You have told your organization in your proposal that in this week I will be working on this. So this is not compulsory that you need to work on that specific thing during uh, respective to your proposal. After getting selected, your manager, your mentor might say that uh, we need you to work on a different thing. Then there might be work deviations. That's totally fine until your mentor and your organization admin is comfortable with your work. There won't be any blockers. Every organization has a different way of boarding contributors. So in my organization, we also played some games in first 2 weeks. Like I don't remember the name, but there were some games like guessing the name of person or something like that. Then we also had this introductory orientation session and stuff like this, where we were introduced with our mentors, and it was first time when I met my mentor. He's an awesome guy, and yes, so that's the first 2 weeks of GSoC look, that you just decide what you're going to work on, and you get familiar with the organization. After that, you just continue working, and whenever you get stuck, just go to your mentor and tell him that yes, I'm getting stuck over here. I think a problem might arise or I'm blocked. Mentors will actually help. Be communicative, be in touch with your mentors, and you will successfully uh, complete your GSOC. If you disappear just after getting selected, then you're gone. Like in the midterm evaluation, you will actually fail, and then I think you're mute.
okay, I'm audible now.
Yes,
So there are evaluation timeline throughout the program, various.
yes, yes. There's a midterm evaluation where you have to just give feedback to your mentor and tell how much work has been done till now. Not that big. In midterm evaluation, you also receive 45% of your stipend. So they don't give the whole stipend at once. If you complete the midterm evaluation, they give you 45% of your stipend. And in midterm evaluation, I think it occurs during last week of July or something like that. And Yeah,
So like how
if
much
you
time we can, like any candidate can expect in Indian rupees?
in Indian rupees, um, that depends on the currency or exchange rate at that
But
time.
still any average amount that can.
Uh, okay, for this, I will say in terms of iPhone 15, iPhone 16 Pro Max, you should be able to buy two iPhone 16 Pro Max with this type of.
मतलब मोटा मोटी 3-4 लाख तक आ जाता है.
No, no, no. iPhone 16 Pro Max is not that expensive. I think, or a MacBook 16 inch. Yes, a MacBook 16 inch.
मतलब 2 लाख तो आ ही जाएगा.
Yes, about that.
Okay, so like we can expect and like at least we
That
will get.
completely depends on purchasing power, PPP, parity.
Okay,
But
okay.
for different countries, it's different. I have people from Pakistan contributing. They receive $6,000. Meanwhile, me in India receive $3,000. So yes,
So
that
like
totally.
every organization has different stipend.
No, every country. Like
No,
someone.
I'm talking about like GSoC. Sorry, GSoC allot stipend to every organization. It's same or like it's vary.
For every contributor, if I'm contributing to a short-term project, I don't remember, but they receive somewhat around $700. If I'm contributing to a medium-length project, they receive $1,200. And if I'm contributing to a large-length project, I will receive $3,000 according to India. But for countries where purchasing parity is high, like Pakistan or Iceland or countries which are not that good economically, they get good amount because we have to match the currency of that country. So that depends. There's Google has made it publicly available that which country will receive how much stipend. So you can search that on the internet.
Okay, like one question I have, like I am contributing to one issue, which like I get. Let's take an example. Like in my last week, I am like working on one issue, and it taking time to complete that, and the timeline has passed away. So, what happened at that time? Like, do my work get stopped, or like I can still work on that?
You mean your until you have said your mentor that this issue is going to take time and you will continue working on this till the next week, completely fine. Just make sure that you inform your mentor and tell him why it's actually taking time. So if it's a good reason that then it's completely acceptable that yes, this issue is taking time to resolve.
Okay, okay. Okay, so like we have covered everything, like starting proposals, then after getting selected in the contribution period. So like, do we have to stay like active in the community or like in the channels after getting selected, or like we
I
can
mean,
work and
after
we can just
completing GSoC, after completing
like
GSoC,
during the gist of like we can just work on our problem statement and just give feedbacks to the maintainer that I'm working on
no,
this, I'm
no,
completing.
that's not a good practice in open source. Open source is about collaboration. So
Yeah.
there might be times where you are working on other project or you're collaborating on other project idea in your organization too. So if my fellow working colleague is stuck in a different problem and I know the solution to it, I might go and help him. So uh, it's collaborative effort. So you need to stay active in the Discord or Slack channel or the mailing list. So
Okay.
the other people also know what you're working on, and things like we both pick the same issue won't happen. Like
Do other contributors help us in like working on any problem statement during the GSOC?
yes, actually for me, yes, there were times where some of my work was taken by other people and they actually completed it. I just guided them or provided them with necessary materials. But instead of that, I had to do some other work. So nonetheless, you have to work during your GSoC.
Okay. So like after what are you like currently doing after completing your GSOC?
After completing GSoC, my mentor suggested me to become a core developer at the same organization. So a core developer at my organization decides the future roadmaps and future plans for the organization. So now I am a core developer. I have the right and I have a good access to the repository because I am a maintainer now. So I can edit any PR, I can do anything. I mean, I have a, a power in the project which I want to use for the benefit of the project, of course. And yes, so this builds trust, and uh, being a maintainer at an open source project is a big thing. It's a thing that doesn't happen to every open source contributor. So yes, I feel privileged for that, and I'll continue contributing to the organization as a maintainer. So the things which I saw first are the things I'm doing right now. So the things like reviewing a pull request or uh, collaboratively working on a single pull request or having the power to edit anyone's pull request is like maintainers, some of the workflows a maintainer does. So now I review pull request on weekly or daily basis. That depends on how much on my availability. But yes, I continue contributing in different ways to the organization.
Yeah, like that. That's really great. Like from contributor to becoming a
A maintainer.
core developer and
And
maintainer in the
yes,
organization.
and the future opportunities like being a mentor in this program. So being a maintainer is also something great.
So like all candidates had get this opportunity to become core developer or
In my
for
organization, we had 5 contributors, from which the mentors proposed just 4 of them. One of them was not proposed by the mentor. I don't know how that actually works, because this was an internal thing. But yes, everyone gets the opportunity. That completely depends on your organization. Um, but yeah, you have a pretty good chance of becoming a maintainer once you have completed the project successfully and you have a good feedback from your maintainer. Because open source is something that runs uh, by volunteering. That is, you don't get paid when you do open source work. So they want new people to come and support the project. So they will likely promote you after your GSoC.
okay, that's like great. Like last question. If I completed all the problem statement which I have proposed, and if I completed that like
Early.
in early, so like they assign
Mhm.
other problem statements or like what is the scenario at that?
This scenario won't actually happen because when you're creating the timeline, you will actually know that what is going to happen and what not. If you're taking a small task and you're elaborating it too much for 2 3 weeks, like you're saying that you will write hello world for next 2 3 weeks, and you complete it in the first week and sit for the 3 weeks, that won't happen because when they review the proposal, they also know that how much time this work will take. So this scenario won't actually happen, and if this happens, you will be assigned with something once you have completed that.
So like there is nothing to like we can there's nothing shortcut that we can take.
No, there's no shortcut or something like that. uh, you have to work during the whole period. It's like you can take some free time for personal commitments or exams. I along with you went attended Google I/O Connect. So at that time also I said my organization that I won't be available for this week because I'm traveling. So they are okay with this.
So, like, lastly, any points that you want to share or you can share for the beginners, like they can take it.
Mm, don't think of open source as getting into GSoC. Open source is far big than GSoC. GSoC is, if you look at the open source world, GSoC is just a small program, but a good opportunity. Contribute to open source voluntarily. Don't just contribute for the sake of GSoC. I also contributed to open source somewhat for 2 years. Then I actually made it to GSoC. Uh, so yeah, your good deeds will actually work, and you will get selected to something better than GSoC. Maybe one of my friend got selected into a Y Combinator by just doing some open source work, and other opportunities await. Try to build proof of work. So open source is a good platform to show proof of work because all your work is open sourced. So anyone can go and see your work and they know, yes, this guy actually knows stuff and he can do the work.
Yeah. Like when our work is public, that creates a credibility also. Like this guy is not fake.
Yes.
Or,
Yes, I mean, if the interviewer or someone in the future sees your GitHub, he will be happy. Yes, I have good projects, I have good contributions. Building proof of work actually helps.
okay, so like almost we have covered everything, and like that was really great. We have in this talk we have discussed in depth what is actually happened during the proposals after getting selected in the GSOC and during like our contribution period. That was very insightful for me and for attendee also. So thank you, Pranav, for joining us today and sharing all of your experience and your journey with us. That was really very great to know.
Thanks, Anurag, for having me here.